What's up, folks? We're back. We Trying Channel. I'm Michael,
I'm Leroy.
and we are going to look at the Ark. I don't know anything about this. Leroy just said it's some sci-fi stuff coming to sci-fi.
So it's
Yeah.
Sci-Fi and Peacock. It's executive produced by two people that you should know. One is Dean Devlin,
Okay.
and he directed one of the episodes,
That the
and
librarians guy.
that's Independence Day.
Yeah, but I feel like I. Okay. Okay.
And then um, there's a
Leverage.
couple
That's what I'm thinking of. Leverage.
of, and so we're also it's so I'm really interested because the concept has been done before. The names behind it makes me excited for it, and it if it was just sci-fi, I wouldn't really be hype about it. But it's sci-fi and Peacock, which if it's NBC Universal's throwing its weight behind it, they haven't given up.
You
So
feel like it
remember,
has a bigger budget?
and well, not maybe it has a budget, but also they're willing to give it a little bit more legs. Remember, The
Yeah.
Expanse was originally on Sci-Fi, and
Hmm.
then they were like, "This is too expensive."
Hmm.
Krypton was originally on Sci-Fi. There was a lot of good shows Sci-Fi had, but they just, for whatever reason, they didn't work out. So now with streaming services, Peacock, NBC Universal. Remember, NBC Universal and Peacock has For All Mankind, and people, no wait, they're not all For All
No,
Mankind.
For All
Those are
Mankind is Apple. Apple TV.
Apple Plus,
Yeah.
but NBC Universal is bringing back Battlestar Galactica, and Sci-Fi was a home of Battlestar Galactica, the reboot, the remake. So I'm I'm cautiously optimistic, and that's why I'm interested in this one.
Okay.
So,
You ready?
yep.
All right. Let's do it.
Hey, sport.
We know you're still sleeping, but we know that we'll all be reunited in the colony that you built.
Sleep pods never go like they're supposed to.
Nope.
Yep. Oh.
No one told us what happened to the ship.
Whatever happened, it knocked us off course.
Where's the captain? Everybody that was in charge of running this ship is dead. It all falls to us now. We have some of the most brilliant engineers and scientists chosen to build a colony from scratch on an alien planet.
We're the furthest out anyone's ever been. Who could attack us?
I've got bad news.
There's only 4 days of water left.
Life support warning.
There is no air left in the ship.
If someone doesn't do this, our journey ends here.
I've got to be honest. I really thought traveling faster than the speed of light was going to be a little more fun.
Let's crank it up.
Every single person matters.
We're in a war for survival. Not everyone is going to make it.
Hey,
So,
sport.
what do you
We know
think?
you're
You
still-
look pensive. You look
I'm definitely thinking. Um, just overall aesthetic, it definitely has a TV quality to it for
no,
sure.
definitely.
Not and nothing wrong with that. That can be fine. But you brought up The Expanse,
Mm-hmm.
and from the jump, The Expanse looks like a freaking movie. The Expanse looks good. It looks even better with the Amazon budget, but that first season of The Expanse on Sci-Fi looked really good. This something the way it's shot, and I'm not a DP. Maybe you know more about this photography stuff. Something about it. There's something missing that it looks like it's almost like stage play setup to me.
It is.
Every the way it's shot. I feel like maybe there's like a missing a depth of field or something, and I don't know what the word I'm looking for, but I feel like
it's flat.
Does that make sense?
It's flat.
Yeah, something about it just
so there's
feels like,
no so it's very flat. It has no, the lighting is off. There's your depth perception, because if you look at the scenes, they look very generic. There's nothing that would designate that this is a advanced colony, a colony ship. There's no the little things that would give you a sense of this is a ship that could be lived in. Everything is generic, and that's the detriment of the show. What I'm hoping is that the acting and the writing give
and
us,
the stories are just kick ass
in the sense of, because what drew me to this property is it's a colony ship. Of course, when you have a colony ship, there's a lottery, certain people are picked. It's supposed to be the best and the brightest.
Right.
However, the best and the brightest doesn't mean they know how to set up a functioning government. They know how to govern themselves. They know how to ration. They know how to, the logistical things that keeps civilizations going. Can these people do it under the pressure that they're going to be exposed to? And that was what drew me to it. The idea of that these people, because here's the thing, you could have a bunch of, so perfect example, my brother-in-law is a chemist. He's a very intelligent person. He is a very methodical and takes emotion out of a lot of decisions. He's not a robot. He's not a Vulcan. He's not there.
Okay.
But he can very much measure out and be like, okay, let's take the emotion out. What is the best decision?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not saying he wouldn't be one of those people who made it on that ship. What I'm saying is the people who made it on that ship have to be the best. And when you get to that level and you can make those decisions, you're making decisions for hundreds of people. So you may say, hey, we can lose this pod. And so that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for somebody's going to have to make the tough decision, because that young woman said everybody who was in charge is dead. Mm-hmm. So who steps up? And that's
I'm wondering, go ahead.
Go
See, looking at the cast, it seems like most of the cast seems to be relatively young adults. And I'm wondering what that means. Like, although I don't like the overall aesthetic, I am kind of intrigued by the premise. Like, the cast seems young, so I wonder, is that going to play into it, or were all the old people killed for some reason? And if they were killed, was it intentional? I have a lot of questions.
Could people who are older not make the trip? In other words, you sent younger people out because you knew that they could survive whatever was coming, and they were the best to send, because the rest, and honestly, why would you send someone our age to restart? And that's
your age, yeah.
Ouch. Mm-hmm. Came out of nowhere. Anyway, see, that's how we start in 2023. But no, that idea is what drew me to this property. Now, with that being said, it doesn't look as good as The Expanse, and that came out almost 10 years ago.
Yeah.
It doesn't look as good as Battlestar Galactica. And so when you think about some of these sci-fi shows, and it definitely is not anywhere close to For All Mankind, but those are three of, and we're not even going to touch Disney Plus shows.
Sure.
But I'm hoping that the writing and the pacing of the show makes for good television, in the sense of, what would you do in these situations? And then, there's little snippets that they said, we're so far out, who would attack us? And then two, who made it and who didn't make it? So like, if you're an engineer who deals with hydroponics, are you really going to be mucking around in the engine room? Mm-hmm. No, if you're all they got. So.
Yeah, like I said, I'm in agreement with you. It doesn't look great, but even though it doesn't look great, the premise intrigued me, which is kind of a good sign. I mean, that really stuck out to me, right? The first thing you always notice usually in something is going to be the visuals. And even though that's not great to me, this premise of the story is something that I'm kind of interested in. So we'll see. February is what they said, right?
Yep.
Yeah, February. Okay, we'll see.
Yep.
We'll give it a shot, Ark, and see what you got. And I do like Dean Devlin stuff, I was talking about The Librarians. I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's kind of like there were like 3 different movies that had who's the dude that was on ER?
I know
Noah
you're talking about.
Wiley?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
That was him.
And then they did a spin-off show called The Librarians. And he also did Leverage. So I mean, based on that, I'm optimistic.
Okay.
So yeah. Let us know, are you guys optimistic? Are you worried that the show doesn't look as polished or as high production value as it could? It's no Game of Thrones, no House of Dragons, but that's okay.
Woo!
That's okay. You can still have a good show, even if the visuals aren't, the greatest. Follow us at Retrying Y'all at Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch to leave your comments. You can leave your comments here also as well on YouTube and Facebook at Retrying. And that's it. We out.